video games as a form of expression and art. I feel the exciting thing is there is no set form and no kind of strict set of rules. It kind of feels that every new project is a new opportunity to innovate and come up with something that nobody has done before.
You left us on quite the cliffhanger. We've all been dying to know what "it's not a lake, it's an ocean" really means.
You and me both.
We're living through the golden age of Remedy Entertainment, and any developer would be envious of the success the house that Max Payne built has seen over the last 5 years. Control was IGN's Game of the Year when it released in 2019, and while the action-packed gameplay and gorgeous, surreal visuals were more than enough to get gamers in the door, it was the sprawling story and its nightmarish implications about the nature of reality that cemented it as one of the best game narratives ever. All that acclaim and the game's strong sales helped Remedy make good on something their fans had been asking for over 10 years, a sequel to Alan Wake. Both Alan Wake and Alan Wake 2 center on a writer whose fiction is becoming reality, which dovetailed with Control's explorations of related existentially dreadful themes. And that was no mistake. Remedy's creative director Sam Lake had big plans for the studio's future, which couldn't be constrained to a single game, or even a single medium.
But these days, Remedy has grown in size and we are a multi-project organization, so there are other game projects happening and have been happening. Multiple teams working on multiple projects. Firebreak, our first co-op game, Control 2 in the works, and then Max Payne 1 and 2 being remade as remakes.
Now that Alan Wake 2 is finished, Lake's ambitions are only growing, because Remedy isn't just developing multiple projects at once, it's crafting a much larger story that will carry across a number of their franchises, at a scale we've scarcely seen from a developer.
We now have established firmly the concept of Remedy Connected Universe, meaning that Control and Alan Wake exist in the same world. And obviously this happened when we were working on Control, playing through Control. Players were finding things that tied it to Alan Wake. And then we had 2 DLCs with Control, and the last DLC called AWE was very much a crossover between Control and Alan Wake, setting up Alan Wake 2. And that worked really well. We were happy with that. The plan was right from the get-go that we'll mirror it now with Alan Wake 2 and the second DLC. The Lake House obviously is themed around Federal Bureau of Control. The whole location you are investigating and everything in it is firmly a crossover between Control and Alan Wake, and yes, there were glimpses to Control's world in other ways as well. Control 2 being worked with the Control team and kind of like creating the content for that was very much a collaboration. Well, everything at Remedy is very much a collaboration between the teams, but this more than many other things. About what we achieved with Alan Wake 2 and personally to me kind of games as a storytelling medium, and from that perspective an art form. It's been a long journey. I can look back and see logical steps through it all, but more and more I'm looking at it from the perspective of all of these different forms of expression, all of these different mediums and art forms, how games as a very modern medium can hold all of that in them, and how in this interactive form we can use everything that really has come before and give it kind of a new meaning and context. Really use all of that to create these layered worlds that the player can then go and experience and explore. I feel that we made a kind of a very decisive leap forward when it comes to that, but in no way do I feel that we would have kind of reached the end. Like already in the process of creating this latest game, there were a lot of new exciting ideas that came about, but were not possible to explore in the context of Alan Wake 2.
Connected universes live and die on the strength of their overarching narratives, and Remedy has already proven up to the task of crafting theirs with Control and Alan Wake. How or whether the upcoming Max Payne remake fits in remains to be seen. But in any case, when you consider that Alan Wake is all about the power of storytelling and the boundaries it's able to transcend, it makes sense that the narrative of the games would break free from the medium and into a different one: film. Or television, we're not quite sure yet, but we do know that Remedy will make that leap with Annapurna Pictures, who've produced seriously prestigious projects like Zero Dark 30, Phantom Thread, and American Hustle.
What's exciting is we have been exploring this, and we feel it's worth exploring for a long time. Now with Annapurna, it feels that we have a perfect partner, and it feels like a genuine collaboration. Obviously, they bring in their prestige expertise, and we bring in our universe and our games, and together we are exploring ideas.
It'll be some time yet before we start to see the fruits of that labor, but if 13 years between Alan Wake games proved anything, it's that Remedy fans are willing to be patient. And Remedy has no intentions of letting that faith go unrewarded. Nobody plans on slowing this creative momentum down, least of all Sam Lake, and he's not even close to considering what the Remedy Connected Universe's endgame looks like.
I feel we are just getting started, so I feel it's too early to start talking about an end game. I love tying these things together. I love making it deeper and expanding on the lore. It really feels like this kind of opportunity to take these strands that we have put there, expand, entertain different ideas. Feels really exciting.
This is Agent Kieran Estevez responding to an AWE alert in the vicinity. I need to speak with the Marmons.
And the way we are looking at it, every game needs to be enjoyable on its own and stand on its own feet. But then for our fans, for people who have been playing other Remedy games, that we want to put in a lot of content for them to discover for the ongoing universe story. And also we feel hopeful that now there is a universe and a catalog of games that will be expanding as we go. For somebody playing their first Remedy game, then they can continue in the universe and check out the other games as well and dive deeper into that rabbit hole.
With commercial and critical success at their back, sequels to their biggest franchises on the horizon, and a metatextually rich narrative sandbox in which to stage it all, it's safe to say the state of Remedy is stronger than it's ever been.
It's been close to 30 years now. Video games as a form of expression and art. I feel the exciting thing is there is no set form and no kind of strict set of rules. It kind of feels that every new project is a new opportunity to innovate and come up with something that nobody has done before. And it's always, we start by prototyping ideas that would not have been possible with the previous game. That keeps it very fresh and exciting. We are in a place where we can invent new things all the time. There hasn't been a day when it's felt boring. and I don't think that day will ever come.